All right, people have spoken. We have Hailey and Agnes following tonight's win over Colorado. We'll take any questions you guys have for these two.
Agnes, you had a tough challenge, part of a trio, guarding one of the best players in the Big 12. How do you take those challenges on, and how did you guys think of your performance holding her to just 1 point on 0 for 5 shooting?
Yeah, I think we guarded those two as a team, and I think that's a testament to Mignon had the scout this game, so I think we all locked in and we were ready to guard those guys. Yeah.
It's a really physical contest tonight. I know that you guys have had a little bit of experience with physicality earlier this season. How do you feel you responded to that physicality, especially after a challenging first half?
Yeah, I think we responded really well. Particularly Sedona responded super well. She dominated in the second half, and she controlled the paint, which was a big part of why we pulled away.
What did you guys think of Aaliyah and Una stepping on the 10 points in the first half for you guys?
Yeah, those guys are awesome. I feel like in practice they're always two of the ones working very hard, so I think for them to come in and just be kind of sparks off of the bench, especially when we weren't playing as best as we could, yeah, it's always something needed.
Hailey, Coach Campbell mentioned that you've been under the weather. How hard is it to gear up and play this physical of a game when you're obviously not feeling 100%?
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy, especially with, my role on the team. But at the end of the day, the other team doesn't care that I was sick. So it was a tough game for me, and I just had to figure out what I could do to help us ultimately get the win. So sometimes it ends up just being like that, where you just kind of have to grind stuff out, and our team was still able to win, so I'll take that over any other outcome.
Maddie Connor made her 225th career three-pointer tonight. It might have been her only one of the night, but it was still important. Just talk about her as a player and her importance to this program.
Mm-hmm. I think just watching the growth from Maddie from last year to this year, obviously she's an elite shooter, but I think this year she's stepped up as one of our playmakers as well. So I think even when she's not knocking down shots, she's someone we rely on to get the ball to the post, get feet in the paint, things like that. So I think for her, even though she went what she went from the 3-point line today, she still was a big part of the win today.
You guys had 10 turnovers in the first half, just 3 in the second half, none in that kind of pivotal third quarter. What adjustments did you make, or was that just a matter of kind of settling into the flow of the game?
Mm-hmm. I think it is a mixture of both. We needed to settle in, and also, I feel like we kind of recognized how they were playing defense, and we were able to feel more comfortable out there and make better reads. But it was a big game for us tonight. We knew that Colorado was a really solid team, so we had a lot of energy, and with energy there comes passion and good things, but there also comes nerves and mistakes. So you kind of just have to take the good with the bad sometimes.
Go ahead.
Two of the biggest crowds of the year, these last 2 games over the holiday. Just what does it mean to have the fans showing up more and more for you guys?
Yeah, I love the TCU community. I feel especially since it is holiday season, most people are out of town, but I think for the fact that they're all coming here, showing up on their Wednesday night to come support us, it just means a lot. Yeah, it really brings the atmosphere together. Yeah.
Agnes, when we talked Sunday, we talked about how you enjoy these physical games. You got all you could have wanted and more in tonight's game. What was just kind of the atmosphere on the court with how physical the rest were allowing the game to go?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's always, like I said last time, when we play Big 12, you expect there not to be as many calls. So I feel for them to allow us to play through contact and guard how we did, it's something that you always look forward to in a game. Yeah.
Hailey, you've been going to the rim like normal, but not really getting to the free throw line. How do you kind of keep your composure and not get frustrated when you aren't getting rewarded for those driving attacks?
Yeah.
I don't want you to get fined, so.
That's not really in my control at the end of the day. It's tough. It's tough because also, when you're not getting calls, ultimately it becomes a bad shot if they can foul you and you're not going to get on the free throw line. So there becomes a balance of also having to adjust and not just keep going downhill because I'm not getting calls. So I try to balance it and find different moments, but also I am skilled at finishing through contact, so that's something that I do good. So even if I am getting fouled and I'm not getting calls, I don't necessarily shy away from it. But, you know, as I've matured, I've tried to balance going downhill so much just because, you know, if they're not going to call it, then you can't just keep running your head into the wall and expect a different outcome. So it's a tough battle, but we'll see.
Hailey, you guys are 14-1 now, 2-0 in Big 12 play. How have you seen this unit grow from the beginning of the season when all of those new faces showed up? You were one of them. Where are you guys now compared to where you were at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, I think most for me, what I've noticed is defensively we're a lot more a team and we move collectively. We have our scrambles are much more smooth, we communicate better. I think we know each other a little bit better. So what I've seen the biggest improvement in is defensively and just, you know, effort and intensity to guard other people. And when we focus on it, we're a very good defensive team who can guard some pretty skilled offensive units. So I'm happy with our growth defensively.
Agnes, for you as one of the returners from last season, just how have you seen the same thing?
Yeah, I would say everything that Hailey said. I feel like defensively, that's something that we have sort of like worked a lot on, like leading up to Big 12 play. And I think like I don't know if you noticed, like our help side defense is a lot, like it's better. We're talking more. Everybody's kind of like playing defense as a collective. So I think that would probably be the biggest growth area. Yeah.
Coach Campbell mentioned just how the lessons that you guys learned after the South Carolina game are really starting to pay off, especially in a game like tonight. When you look at not just that game, but the level of teams that you played in the preseason, does that give you the confidence when you're playing in a tight game or a physical game as you get to conference play?
Yeah, I mean, especially with our team, you know, like we said, one of the things for us in the South Carolina game was lack of experience in those kind of environments. So now that we've been through it, and honestly, it can't get worse than that game. So we know that we can only go up from here, and I think we kind of have like an underdog mentality still, and we thrive off of that energy. So we're going to keep, you know, keeping that mindset and make sure that our team is thriving off of how we're approaching the game.
And I would just go off that saying, like, obviously it sucks to lose in those situations, but I think that we would rather obviously lose in November, December than in March. And I think those are all just learning experiences. You can take things from those kind of games and help us build going into Big 12 play. Yeah.
Anything else in the room for these two? All right, see you Saturday.